Yeah, we're just a big garbage pit. Everybody wants to get rid of stuff. Oh, Chris will take it. Bert will take it. He'll burn it. Today out in the wood yard, we got the baby dumper hooked up. We got a pile of oak. We're going to throw some oak in. We're going to do some deliveries. Here we go. So today is a delivery day, and I've got a single face cord that I have to deliver at the end of the day, but I'm going to get it loaded up right now so that it's ready to go. And the guy wants oak, and this is a guy that's a new customer. He found out about me, and he wanted to buy a half of a face cord. And I said, sorry, my minimum is a face cord. Actually, he wanted to buy a half, and he was going to split it with his neighbor. I said, one face cord is my minimum, so if I can't deliver at least a third of a cord, face cord, it's not really worth my time. I've done it once or twice, and it usually ends up being a pain in the butt because there's somebody that they think they're getting more wood than they are, and there's not that much wood. And for me to load it up and haul it and go, it just doesn't pay. So that's my minimum. I know some guys, they have a one full cord minimum. Some people do a 5 face cord minimum because that's what they can fit in their trailer. I find that the 1 face cord and 2 face cord, or 1/3 of a cord and 2/3 of a cord, is probably the most common deliveries that I make for a lot of my customers, because most of my customers are heating for fun and they don't want a lot of wood. They have one rack and they want it full, and as soon as it gets down to the bottom, they order another one. And that's the case for a lot of people, because my average customer gets 3 face cords or a full cord every year, but it's usually one at a time. Once in a while someone will buy a full cord, but most of the people are residential. They live in neighborhoods where there's not a lot of place for them to store wood. It's usually, front of their garage or along the house, and they just don't want that much wood there. They want to kind of keep it all pretty and everything, so the neighbors don't complain, I guess. But I'm going to put this in, and we're going to go do a dump later. So occasionally we have people just drop wood off that they can't handle or don't want, and this is coming from another firewood producer that's just down the road a little ways in the next town. And this is some really big stuff here, but we're glad to have it. It'll make good boiler wood for Bert. Yeah, that's plenty good. Yeah, we're just a big garbage pit. Everybody wants to get rid of stuff. Oh, Chris will take it. Yeah. Bert will take it. They'll burn it. Yeah, that's some ugly stuff, especially that one. That's a thing of beauty.
Shag bark.
Yeah. So we just got a load of discard wood here, tree service stuff. So there's a lot of crotches and nasty stuff, big wood, but we'll make wood out of it somehow. I see there's a present inside of one of these here. It's like one of those plant hanging things, so I don't think it's too bad. I think it's just right here. There's that. So now I gotta go load some wood. So there it is. The wood is in. All I got to do now is level this off, because when I put the tarp on, I don't like the piece standing straight up, rubbing. As I go down the road, I kind of want to have it be as smooth as possible, so I always just kind of get rid of any high points like this here and get it so it's pretty much all contained in here. And being that this is just 1/3 of a cord, it fits just fine. Let's see if I can get the tarp on here. Yeah, so I just go around all the time, especially if I've got 2 face cords or 2/3 of a cord, or a full cord in my other trailer, or 4 face cords. I make sure I get everything tucked in so I don't have anything bouncing out going down the interstate. I really don't want to kill anybody or myself either, so I just get everything kind of tucked in nice here so that everything is secure and safe. Now I always double check too. Once I get the load on, I always go and I look at my hitch to make sure I got everything hooked up. I'll show you that in just a second here. See if if I can get this thing. There we go. So I tried to get it tight. Here's one sticking up right here a little bit. So that's why you get the holes in your tarp if you have them sticking up as the wind starts to buffet it. Make sure these are in all the way. Looks like we're pretty good. So like I said, the tarp is all nice and secure, and then I go back and I always check before I pull out. I usually hook it up, make sure I got it right, and then before I leave, make sure I got my pin in, that it's locked, make sure my safety chains are on, make sure my safety brake is hooked up, make sure my lights are hooked up, make sure I got the jack up all the way. Basically just doing a double check, because it's real easy to forget one of those steps sometimes, especially if somebody interrupts you, it happens. So what I did while I was chucking these chunks into the trailer here, I threw this stuff off to the side. Now this is all white oak, and there's a little bit of white oak in here. There might be 5% white oak in there. And my mistake was when I was processing it, I should have taken it out and put it in a separate place right away. But I didn't anticipate selling as much white oak or having as many people that wanted just white oak for smoking as what I've had. I've got 3 guys that have been buying on a regular basis, and one in particular, he buys probably once a month. And so I've been trying to pull out all this as I go through the oak. I'm going to keep separating it. And it's really hard to tell the difference between the white and the red. Once the bark is off, as you can see, most of this was barkless. But it's really hard to tell the difference. It's kind of more of a creamy color, the white oak, and the red oak obviously is a little more red. I'll grab a piece in here and show you. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. And if the sun hits it and it gets gray, sometimes you can't tell. But here's a piece of red oak, and here's a piece of white oak. So very similar. It's hard to tell until you can see this pinkish color, this peachy kind of skin color, Caucasian color I call it. And then this is more of a creamy color. You can see the difference there. Oopsie. And on the other side, you know, this basically you can't tell it what it is. And on the ends, yeah, it's so gray now you can't really tell. But anyway, white oak and red oak. My last load I delivered to him was a face cord, 1/3 of a cord, and I had just enough as I was separating it. So now I'll be able to keep digging into this as I sell to my regular customers, and I'll pull out all of the white oaks and keep it separate. So down the road we go, it's delivery time.